Gandang gabi po, maupo tayo lahat. Yung nakakatanda po sa akin, obvious naman po, Secretary Abad. Kanyang buti may asawa, Congresswoman Dina Abad. Ating mga miyembro ng kabinete na ako pong nagsalita, nagsilikas. Lumipat pala. Alam mo nyo kasi sabi ni Butch kanina, sa 5 taon na natitira, kwinenta ko po 5 years and 2 months pa natitira. Sabi ko, may balak pa si Butch maunang mag-retire. Members of the Cabinet, Secretary Sunny Colomar, Babe Singson, Alberto Lim, Ivan Uy, Enrique Ona, and of course, Solicitor General Joel Cadiz, Undersecretary Mario Relampagos, Undersecretary Laura Pascua, Undersecretary Evelyn Guerrero, DBM Development Partners, former, or let us greet Secretaries Jokno, Caragin, Neri, and Alba, former secretaries of the Department of Budget Management, our beloved DBM officials and employees, fellow workers in government, honored guests, ladies and gentlemen, mga minamahal ko pong kababayan, magandang gabi po sa inyo lahat. Yung talumpati po ni Butchabad, medyo mahaba ho yata ang konti, hindi mo? Tapos doon ako hong gigising sa inyo pagkatapos. Pero very inspiring speech niya, para ako nag-aaral ulit. So, paano ho ba natin uumpisahan to? With your permission, Butch. Si Butch kasi campaign manager ko on 2 occasions already. And yung kanyang marketing ploy po, para mapakita sa inyo gaano ka-creative yung ating kalihim. Sabi niya, kailangan pag-usapan ako. Wala naman ho kaming pondo. Alam niyo, simula nung napasok ko sa gobyerno, alitan niya ho sa akin, walang pera. Ngayon na lang po na sekretary si Butch Abad. Pag natanong ko, Butch, may pera ba tayo? Meron ba sa sinabi niya, meron tayo niyan. Ako iba na talaga tono ngayon. So, nung araw nung kami po ay nasa oposisyon at walang pera, nag-isip siya ng paraan, paano ba ako pakikilala sa taong bayan? So, ang ginawa po niya, meron pong isang meron pong sikat na artistang mangangawit. At awa ng Diyos po, naging lamang kami ng mga ilang tabloid at dyaryo na hindi bababa ng 8 buwan. Ako po yung nagtataka, dahil minsan ko lang nakilala sa buong buhay ko itong tinutukoy na singer, kinalabasan lahat raw ng concert, pinanood ko, para nagkakaigihan kami. Basta 8 buwan tumatakbo yan. At ako yung nagtataka nun talaga, paano pahabain ang storya na walang laman? At nung natapos po, hindi pa ako tumatakbo nung panahon na yon, natuklasan ko kung paano pamamaraan. Di umano'y at wala pa akong kinalaman doon, nagpapadala ng bulaklak ang mga kaibigan na lang ni Secretary Abad doon sa babaeng kinaukulan. At tinanggap naman po. At kada bigay niya ng bulaklak, dagdag na naman storya doon sa aming pag-uugnayan na hindi naman po nangyari talaga. Sabi ko, Butch, ang galing mong gumawa ng fiction, dapat naging manunulat ka na lang. Anyway, in reviewing my speech tonight, my speechwriters decided to enumerate so many details that you are all intimately familiar with, and probably you generated the details before it ever came to me. And I don't want Secretary Jokno to think that I'm concentrating only on the details and I miss the big picture. So perhaps I can modify the speech by a little manner. Our biggest challenge was to start the budgetary process afresh, to do away with outmoded or irrelevant budgetary assumptions. Implementing a zero-based budget was no easy task. You can imagine the kind of behind-the-scenes lobbying that Secretary Abad must have dealt with in order to pass this budget. But instead of sitting back and giving in to the system that has kept this country in the dark, he, along with the rest of you in the Department of Budget and Management, stayed true to your jobs as public servants, putting the interests of the common Filipino first. The concept of zero-based budgeting is simple. Using clear performance-based guidelines, you take the people's money out of projects that don't work and put it into projects that do. Our 2011 budget shows this. We have allocated, for instance, and these are the details that I apologize, you are more intimately familiar with. We have allocated over 21 billion pesos for our conditional cash transfer program to improve the health, nutrition, and education of extremely poor families. As you know, we intend to benefit 2.3 million households, or 1.3 million more than those that benefited from this program last year. By the end of the first quarter of this year, we already have almost 1.6 million families enrolled, nearly double the 325,000 families targeted per quarter. As of last Friday, we also have deployed almost 9,950 nurses to provide essential health services to poor communities in the country. The project, Build RN Heals, or Registered Nurses for Health Enhancement and Local Service, seeks to address the shortage of skilled and experienced nurses in more than 1,200 rural and unserved or underserved communities by training and deploying 10,000 unemployed nurses. Our soldiers will also be reaping the benefits as well, for we now have the resources, for example, to construct 20,000 houses for our police and military this year. These homes will be provided to our men and women in uniform at 200 to 300 pesos a month, much lower than the 3,000 to 5,000 a month in the Metro Manila area that some of them are paying for rent and amortization. We have also been able to more than double the combat pay of our soldiers, who are putting their lives on the line to win the peace in this country. In short, the government is finally giving the Filipino people what they deserve, a government that truly serves them and provides them with the services they urgently need. This renewed culture of governance is becoming ingrained, not just in the DBM, but in the way all our departments work. The clearest example of this, perhaps, is the amount of money the Department of Public Works and Highways has saved from the clutches of those we perceive as corrupt. So far, we have already generated savings of about 1.3 billion pesos, and we are still looking at saving roughly 6 to 7 billion pesos by the end of this year. If DPWH can do it, then other agencies can do so. Yung savings po, huwag po na yung kunin sa akin. Hanggang hindi ho natin tangan yan, hindi pa ho natin pwede gastusin. Make no mistake about it. We promised reform, and we are putting our money where our mouth is. DBM's current efforts to trim the fat from the bureaucracy will be reinforced by the support of our new appointees at COA, namely Grace Tan and Heidi Mendoza. We have also increased the budget of the Witness Protection Program from around 84 million pesos in 2010 to 151 million in 2011, so that we can take better care of our witnesses and whistleblowers who are integral to this administration's quest for truth. Alam po nyo, ang ating conviction rate ay hindi ho, nung ating dinatan ay mga 14%. Naging 25% raw ho yata ngayon sa latest data ng Secretary de Lima. Pero sa Witness Protection Program, kung saan ho yung mga witnesses natin ay present, yung conviction rate po 95%. Kaya po pinalaki natin yung budget nila na ganyan kalaki. Our search for truth and justice, however, may remain difficult to achieve if our judges and justices are not well compensated. This is why the DBM signed a memorandum of agreement with 4 judges' associations to provide almost 108 million pesos to augment the gap in the pay of judges, which will allow their salary levels to catch up with salary increases under the Salary Standardization Law 3. These changes are being implemented to help ensure that those who work in government and want our anti-corruption efforts to succeed are able to do their job well. We are also enjoying the confidence of foreign aid agencies as demonstrated in their support for the Philippine Energy Efficiency Project. Recently, we launched the electric tricycle program of the Department of Energy that is financed by the Asian Development Bank. This project aims to produce 20,000 e-tricycles that will serve as a better alternative to the tricycles we now have that still depend on fossil fuel and contribute tremendously to air pollution. It shows that if we embark on something good, we will attract even more good, and perhaps a small amount of luck too. We look forward to more similarly worthwhile projects in the near future that the donor community is now more inclined to support. But the bottom line is this: the improvements we are experiencing are really just a result of our revival of a long-forgotten concept that public funds are not for public officials. They belong to the Filipino people and must therefore be spent for the Filipino people. If we can consistently put this into practice in the next 5 years and 2 months, then it will become part of the norm rather than the exception, such that the next president, the next batch of elected public servants, and our people will merely continue the good we have all collectively begun. 75 years ago, when the DBM was first established, our founding fathers were all dreaming of building a Philippines that would be competitive and well-respected in the global milieu. Today, on the occasion of your 75th anniversary, the fulfillment of our aspirations as a people and of the aspirations of those who have come before us is well within the horizon. I would like to congratulate the Department of Budget and Management, especially those who are being recognized tonight for their 25 years of selfless service and sacrifice, for making all of that possible. Your hard work and dedication were instrumental in the gains we have so far achieved. May you continue the good work you have been doing, more so now that the country is well on its way in realizing the promise of a better life for more Filipinos. And before I end, perhaps I can really impart a little of my own soul into tonight's activities. Sabi ko sa inyo, nung nag-umpisa ako sa gobyerno, marami pong pangangailangan yung distrito ko, ang litanya, wala pong pera. Kakatapos noong 1997 financial crisis at nasanay po tayo magtiis. Habang tumagal po panahon, ilang beses tayo nasama ni Butchabad sa oposisyon, napaliniwala ko naman po yung tamang papuntahan. Kaya umabot po sa eksena na kung saan pati yung binigay na sa amin bilang PDAF, dumating ang punto, sabi sa akin, binabawi raw yung ibinigay 10 years ago. Sabi ko, kawawa naman tayo ngayon. Ngayon po, nabanggitan natin yung mga halimbawa, ang gobyerno po, nabawasan natin yung maling panggugol. Hinahabol na po natin yung mga tiwali. Nagkaroon tayo ng pagkakataong magawa yung tama. Siguro, ako'y talagang lubusan magagalak. Pagbaba ko po ng June 30, 2016, magkaharapan tayo paminsan-minsan at masabi nyo sa aking, salamat, nagkaroon tayong pagkakataong lahat magawa tama ang ginanda ng ating bayan. Talaga nang nagmula sa ating pagtutulungan. Pagpatuloy po natin sana ang kapakanan po ng ating bansa, nasa ating mga kamay, at sigurado po kung gagawin, kung di man hunang lahat, ng napakarami ang tama na inaasahan ng tambayan. Magandang gabi po, maraming salamat, happy anniversary.